Hello, I'm Police Commissioner William Dwyer. Welcome to another season of Police Journal. This program will give you an inside look at the Warren Police Department and highlight other issues that impact our community. I always welcome your comments and suggestions. Please feel free to email me at wdwyer@warrenpd.org. Thank you and enjoy the show. Again, welcome to Police Journal. Today we have two special guests. First of all, we have the Special Agent in charge of the FBI, Andy Arena. Andy, again, welcome to Police Journal. You've been a guest, I think, on prior occasions.
Good to be back, Bill.
Thank you. And we also have the Police Chief, Ed Glomb, from the Wayne County Metro Airport. Chief, welcome again to Police Journal. You've been a guest before.
Thank you for having me back. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Today we're going to be talking about airport security and how the FBI and the Wayne County Metro Airport Police interact locally and with other federal agencies. We're also going to get a little update from Mr. Arena on the area of corruption in the city of Detroit. So, Andy, I know you can't you can't elaborate as far as in all aspects of the investigation. It's been ongoing for 4 or 5 years now, but could you kind of update the public as far as the number of indictments you've had and where you're going with the investigation in Detroit?
Sure, Bill. I mean, I think that the corruption problem has been there for many, many years. The whole concept of pay to play is kind of interwoven in the fabric of Detroit, and it's kind of creeped out to other parts of Southeast Michigan. And I think if you've looked at the last year, you've seen obviously a number of people plead guilty or be convicted. I think we're up to about 9 in the city itself. And we also have had some indictments, charges in Southfield and E-Course. Actually had the mayor of E-Course recently plead guilty to corruption charges. So I think it's an ongoing process. I think that folks are going to see over the next 6 months or so, you can see a continued emphasis and a number of people being charged both in the city and suburbs.
I see. You know, you had mentioned that, I believe, one of the press conferences that you conducted on some of those indictments as far as your background, as far as some other cities that you really had some heavy work to do as far as weeding out the corruption. Can you just give us a little update as far as what you've done in the past and how it compares to perhaps the Detroit metropolitan area?
Sure, Bill. And I always use my time in Youngstown, Ohio. I ran the Youngstown office for about 3 years, and during that period, we had, I believe, 72 convictions, public corruption convictions. And I'm talking about judges, 4 judges, the sheriff, the county prosecutor, county executive, road commissioner. I mean, you name it. And it ended with the U.S. congressman, and it was kind of a systemic problem. I mean, corruption was just woven through the whole fabric of, that was part of the society there, it's the way you did business. Right. And, I kind of use that as an example of what we're doing in Southeast Michigan and Detroit in particular is it takes a while to get these cases going. But once you get one of the dominoes to fall, they all start to fall. I always say they're like rats, they bite each other. And that's kind of the point we're at right now. The rats are biting each other.
Very good. Yeah, I think there was a little bit of criticism that the indictments were taking so long. What was the U.S. Attorney's Office doing? And I don't think the general public really understands what it takes to really put these cases together, where either you get a plea or you get a conviction.
Yeah. Well, Bill, I mean, you're making a pretty serious allegation against a public official when you say they're involved in corruption. So you better have the evidence, and you better be prepared to move forward because, there's a good chance they're going to go to trial.
Okay. One more question, then we're going to move on to the airport security, and that is, do you see something happening as far as additional indictments in the next 60 days?
I don't know about a timeline on that, but I think in the near future we'll probably see some more indictments coming out.
Thank you. Chief Glomb. Chief and I go way back. We go back to when you were with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department in charge of the narcotic unit there, and I was in charge of the narcotic division in Detroit. And then the chief was the chief of the Franklin Police Department for a number of years.
Right.
So you've been around.
Yeah, I sure have.
But,
A long time.
yeah. But seriously, Chief, let's talk about airport security at your level as far as your police force there. Can you give us a little background as far as kind of the day-to-day operation, and we'll get into how you interface with the federal authorities on, for example, the Christmas Day bomber?
Well, basically, Metro Airport is like a little city in itself. We have roughly 5,000 employees that work there. About 35 million people travel through Metropolitan Airport every year. So it's a busy, busy place. And the police department out there is just like any other city police department. We're in charge of enforcing all the laws and ordinances of the state of Michigan. And then naturally, our number one concern is security, and with emphasis on terrorism. We work very, very closely with a number of different federal agencies, the Federal Bureau of Investigation being the primary one. And I couldn't ask for better cooperation than we receive from the FBI. It's just that level of cooperation is unparalleled.
How long have you been at the airport now?
5 years.
How's your manpower strength? I mean, have you had to face any sort of cutbacks?
Yeah, we're like the rest of the state of Michigan. I was forced to lay off 18 patrolmen last September in '09. So we are always doing more with less, like everybody else. But the entire state of Michigan's been really devastated by the economy, and we do not receive tax dollars. All of our operating money comes from the airlines, so when air traffic is down, we're down. And air traffic has been down for the last 2 years, and it looks like it's going to be down about 5% this year. So again, we're doing more with less, but we're still doing the job.
But you cover the interior and the exterior at Metro Airport, both terminals?
Both terminals. We have the McNamara Terminal and the New North Terminal. And we work very closely with TSA, Transportation Security Agency, and the air marshals, customs. So, there's a number of different groups out at the airport, right. So there's a lot of interaction that takes place between the various agencies, and we're all out there for the same purpose, and that's to make sure that, that we're making the most possible flying safety that we possibly can.
Very good. If we could, gentlemen, let's talk about this past Christmas Day bomber, and what took place there, and how your efforts were united as far as unity of command and other areas that you worked on. Maybe we can start with you, Andy.
Sure, Bill. I of course, Christmas morning, just gotten done opening the kids' gifts, and was taking the garbage out, getting rid of the paper and boxes, and about a little after 12, I get the first call that there was an incident at the airport. And I know Chief Glomb had obviously gotten a call probably quicker than I did. And it was just one of those things, my 22 years experience, I just had a gut feeling this was the real thing. And there was some conflicting reports initially as to what was going on. So I got in the car and headed to the airport. Probably the first person I saw was Chief Glomb. We set up a unifying command post in the McNamara Terminal. It was myself and Chief Glomb, Customs and Border Protection, Immigration, Customs Enforcement, and TSA. Basically, because we all had a piece of what was going on that day, and it worked extremely well. We all knew our roles, and I think the people in the community have this concept of, well, it's time because the FBI came in and the FBI ran it. And it's not really the way we have a piece. We have the terrorism investigation, but Chief Glomb, their folks took the plane and went out and swept it for the bombs, and they've got a security component there. We were in the international terminal, so Customs and Border Protection and ICE have a role. So I can only say it worked very, very well, seamlessly.